Here it is, Pone. What's good, beautiful people? My name is Mark, and I'm back at you with another Psychedelic Serenity tutorial. I want to first extend my gratitude out to each and every one of y'all. I appreciate you guys being here and checking these out. It really means the world to me. You know, seeing everyone's interactions and seeing everyone's creations that are inspired by these tutorials is really what drives me to keep creating these tutorials. So please be sure to tag me or just send me a direct message with your creations. I also want to take a second and remind everyone to please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't ever miss one of these tutorials. But yeah, I love y'all, and I'm excited to share this design with y'all. There's a few things that you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is a washable marker. The second thing you're going to need is B55 bowstring. I will leave the link for this stuff in my description. You can also use sinew. You can also use thread. Whatever you have laying around you can use, but this stuff I find is very easy to work with and leaves wonderful details. So the last thing you're going to need for this design is your mirrored shirt, so that we can create symmetry both on the front and back independently. And if you don't know how to mirror a shirt, I have a tutorial for that on my channel. Go ahead and check that out first, and then come back to this one and create something beautiful. So I love y'all, and again, thanks for being here. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going through a huge transition in my life, and this is really feeding my soul, so thank you. All right, beautiful people, now we're going to need just your marker and your shirt for this section. And I just want to take a second and remind everybody that this does not need to be an exact copy. It's okay if it is, but I invite everyone to explore your energy and your creativity. Listen to what your spirit is telling you. And these are just guides and stuff for y'all to build off of and play with and expand on. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Expansion. So have fun with it. And again, be sure to send me your creations. It's really the driving energy for me to keep creating these. So yeah, I'm going to start off. I always start off up here by the sleeve. You might be coming from the opposite way, depending on how you mirrored your shirt, but I typically always have my sleeve on the left-hand side. And I've done this a lot, and I have a few like pretty standard designs. This one is going to be a little more advanced, but again, you can change it any which way you please and whatever's comfortable for you. So, and again, if you guys ever have any questions about these designs, because sometimes these videos are just not clear, I'm more than happy to answer questions and help you any which way I can to get you where you want to be. So, see my camera, yeah. And this one I'm kind of freestyling from here. I've only done this design a couple times, so. And mine are always usually a tad different if I'm trying to recreate something, but a lot of the times it's just going with the flow. And I want to take another second to remind everybody to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and leave a comment here. I'll be giving this shirt that I create away at the end of the month, just like I did last month. That's going to be every time I make a tutorial, I'm going to give that piece away. So what you do to enter is make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment on this video right here. So, all right, and now that we have our line all drawn in, we can go ahead and start intuitively folding this fabric that's within the line. So you can start from the bottom or top, whatever is calling you at the time. And again, this is intuitive flow work. So let go a little bit and see what you can create when you get your human out of the way. Really let your soul do the work. So. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just how it's coming through for me at this particular moment in time. And you'll have the same experience, but different, if you know what I mean. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you might want to iron. If you have an iron, get an iron. I usually like to smash these down a little bit because as we're pleating this up, it's going to get thick on us. Y'all been killing these tutorials too. I've really seen some beautiful pieces come from a couple of them. The ones that people sent me are just unreal. So thank you for sharing those with me. And now you don't want to get too thick here. I just try to do maybe like 3 or 4 folds of fabric before I'm done folding it. And again, you got this sleeve still up here. Can you guys see that? Yeah. I'm just going to give it 1 fold here. As I pleat this up, it's going to be folding itself. That's what's really cool about these designs that I do. I just kind of let go and see what the universe provides. At this point, you really want to make sure all your folds are super flat, because the flatter they are, the more folds you'll be able to achieve, and it really helps the aesthetic of the design, just taking your time. All right, so that was a piece of the back of the shirt that I folded in under that, and this is actually the back of the shirt as well. So I'll be making a couple folds there, and I'm kind of just using this line as my guidance so I don't fold it past it. And I'm taking my time and getting these folds in there without making sure I'm not pulling out my symmetry. You can, that's the center of your shirt. You're always watching that line and then this line over here and all the way up. All right, and we have that portion of the shirt done. And now we'll go ahead and pleat this section up. And at this point, you probably want to grab your B55 bowstring, because once we get it all pleated up, we're going to want to tie it off, and then we'll continue tying it from there. So just have that close. Let's see. This way, can you guys see that fully? Yeah. So, and you're really just following your line, and don't worry too much if you're not perfectly lined up. It took me a lot of years to be able to get this purple line perfectly on top of itself, and I still don't get it perfect sometimes. You just can't tell if it's a little off. It might add to the design, honestly. But yeah, you're just going to want to pleat this up and Keep straightening this section out as you go, or you're going to have trouble if you got a complicated design. And then as this is folding up, you'll just kind of keep this together. And anytime I have a turn on my design, I try to have my corner at the bottom of my pleat. I don't know, just for me, it personally feels better when I'm trying to line the next pleat up. And again, we're straightening this stuff out and getting it together. This right here is going to be a difficult line to get right. And then there's another hard one right after that, which is going to make it a little difficult. But again, it doesn't need to be perfect. And again, that corner is at the bottom of my pleat. And this way I can just move the fabric. And again, it's a little tricky when you're this close. You got two turns that tight in close. But we're going to see if we can pull it off here. And see, this one, I think I am going to have to go to the top. Have this corner come to the top. It's just going to the way it works out. And again, you can see that line is still straight down there. And now we're like comb free. And this, sometimes I clip this if I got a really crazy design I'm trying to do, because it will start pulling out. But as you're tying it, you're going to be pulling some of that stuff out and folding it in different ways and manipulating it. So it's all right if it's not perfect, but I don't want all my folds to come out. So. All right, and as you can see, there's my line, and I'm going to want my string at this point. With the bowstring, I go right around 3 or 4 times, and then give it a good pull. This way it cinches it in. And it's all right if you can see my string line and my line is a little off. I still can see that as I'm dyeing, and the dye's going to go past that anyways a little bit, because we're going to try to create a bleeding effect into this area once we use the pariah method. So okay, beautiful people, for this section, we're just going to go ahead and intuitively tie off these different sections. These are our pleats, and we have all our folds that we made prior to pleating it in there. You can see, I think 1 or 2 fell out here, but again, as I'm going to be tying this up, I will be folding the material and manipulating it in different ways. However the information comes into me, I deliver it into the shirt. I want to remind everyone again to really let go while creating these shirts. I feel like it really opens up a doorway to bring in energies that can heal, that can protect, that can ground. As long as the intention is there, that's all we really need to have, is the intention, and then to get our human out of the way, to get our beliefs that isn't possible out of the way. So go ahead and play with that. Try to stay as present as possible, and then flow with the energy. So have fun. All right, and now it's time to weave some rainbows into this piece, but first we're gonna get some saran wrap, a plastic bag, anything we can wrap the shirt up with so that the dye doesn't transfer to the white section that we're trying to keep clean. At this point, I recommend getting a spray bottle with some water just to break the surface tension. It'll let the dye penetrate a lot easier. Because this design has thicker folds and thicker sections, it'll make it a little easier to get the saturation right. So I want to take another second to remind everybody to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my tutorials. At this point, I'm going to speed the video up. I want to remind everybody to have fun, and I invite you to let go a little bit and make this a collaboration with your higher self. Stay present in the moment and in flow with the universe. The next step in this process is to set the dye and chemically bond it with the fabric, and we use soda ash and boiling water to do that. If you're not familiar with the Pariah method, check out my tapestry video where I go into an in-depth explanation of what's going on here and the materials you need. I will be making a separate tutorial that goes over just the Pariah method so that you guys can find it easier, but I'm learning as I go, so I love y'all and thanks for showing your grace. All right, beautiful people, we're ready to rinse. I don't really do rinse videos with these tutorials usually because it's not exciting, but I figure with this totem, I know a lot of people struggle keeping white, so I'm going to show you the way I do it. If I'm doing multiple shirts, I keep this shirt separate, or any of the totems or any of my 10 strip designs, just so that I don't have dye transfer. But I'm going to start with a hot rinse. A lot of people do a cold rinse, but I just found it not to be necessary. So I'm going to do a hot rinse. I'll speed it up, and then I'll untie this, and then I'm going to do another hot rinse while it's all opened up because there's still going to be a lot of dye in there. So oh, and you're going to want to have a bucket of water that you can swish this around in once we untie it. And then you're also going to want to have a pot of boiling water ready. This is essential, I found, to not having the white get dirty on you. So make sure you have a pot of boiling water ready, another bucket, and that'll be right. You'll be ready to go. You'll need 2 buckets because you'll need to dump the boiling water in one of them. Alright, so now that we have it fully unwrapped, we're going to want to like spread it out a little bit and hit it again with hot water. And then once we get majority of the dye out, then we'll do the dunk in the warm water, which is this bucket. And then I have a bucket of boiling water off to the side that I'm going to bring up to the sink so that we can transfer it from this bucket immediately to the boiling water. Alright, so at this point we're going to want our boiling water. Alright, so at this point you're going to like wish-wash it around as best you can. And I'm still got that saran wrap on, I'm still trying to protect the white a little bit. And then once you give it a good, 30 seconds, then I go directly into the boiling water, and that's when I release the saran wrap on there. And then you'll end up with a bunch of cool fades and stuff like that. I don't know if you could see it in the video, but yeah, this one's gonna be cool. I'm excited to share this. So I'll let that soak for like 5 or 10 minutes. You could do 15, but again, try to do this separate from all other shirts, because I've had like multiple shirts in there, and being that they were touching up against each other, the other dye from the other shirts transferred onto the white. So do these solo if you want to keep your white clean. Anyways, next up, the reveal. Peace. What's good, beautiful people? That is a wrap on the Serenity Totem tutorial. This thing came out super sick. The fade on it came out perfect, and the detail is pretty gnarly as well. I want to thank everyone so much for being on this journey with me. Thank you for checking out my tutorials. Thank you for checking out my art. I really appreciate y'all. I'm on Instagram under Psychedelic Serenity, Facebook under Psychedelic Serenity, and my website is psyserenity.com. So again, thank you. Have fun with this. Please share your creations. Share this tutorial with your friends. I'm really excited about the channel and dumping a bunch of energy into it this year. So any forward momentum that y'all guys can create for me would be greatly appreciated. So I love y'all, and here is a little closer look at the details in this magical piece. Thanks again, y'all. Peace.